the one
Ed,
on
you're
the
probably at the
table-
highest risk of anybody in this room.
I got a double whammy going. I'm on the cusp of 60 and I'm immunosuppressed.
And you're everywhere.
Right, I know, right, this has been,
Eh.
right.
Nothing can take you down.
I survived a liver transplant, I can survive this. I still need an invoice for the lunch from the tree. So I can,
Can't go on, she never ought to leave.
well, I know, but I just, trying to be transparent.
All right, I'll send it.
Good,
Absolutely, thank you.
awesome, cool. Very good.
What?
Code Red, that emergency notification system, we're gonna try to promote
that
that,
more.
yeah. That's a no-brainer, that's easy to, I'm glad we have it in place already.
That's just in case it's needed to, that's for reverse 911.
We have a couple other options too, but that's an option.
Yeah.
Where are we sitting?
You're on the end.
I am? Okay.
Kind of spread us out.
Hello.
Oh, hello, friends.
Big jug, your desk, your chair, the mics, the computer monitor, everything's been wiped out.
Ooh, when is our next meeting?
Your video of your homeschooling cracked me up.
All the push-ups?
And
Yes.
it's true. Like, there was that meme like a year or two ago that was like, before you get married, find out if your in-laws do a turkey trot or eat all day. But they didn't make that meme before I got married. Because I would have really rethought it when I realized that my in-laws do the turkey trot. And my family figures out like breakfast number 2. And on from there on Thanksgiving. I didn't. I guess it's called balance.
But yeah, it was cute.
It was pretty funny, especially Logan, who's like my spirit animal. It's more like a worm than a push-up. It's like, oh, you got my genes, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
I'll have to watch that again.
Today was boxing. Yeah, we start every morning. Kevin's like revelry, 7 a.m. And then it's like PT. We have a schedule. It's crazy. I mean, it's a good thing.
Our next meeting is April 7th, unless we have.
Yes, today they did some mountain climbers. We're working our way up, I think, to the 7 a day. Don't miss them.
This is a sort of routine and still have mics.
Okay.
You might need to use the panoramic.
Go upstairs.
Freeze.
Six feet.
I feel pretty good about my spacing.
We fixed it and it just went back to the old thing. So the countdown on the screen is correct. We'll go with that.
There, it's right again.
That's weird.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
Maybe it has a virus.
Too soon.
Going live in 5 seconds.
Sweet.
I'd like to call to order the City of Middletown City Council meeting for March 17th, 2020. Let's take a moment of meditation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and a call to roll.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Skank, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Vittori,
Here.
Ms. Nenny,
Here.
Mr. Moon,
Here?
Mr. Mulligan,
Here.
Mayor Condrey.
Here. All right, do we have any citizen comments this evening? I know we have
Not receive any, no.
a kind of different way of requesting those tonight than normal. So, okay, we didn't receive any citizen comments. Let's go ahead and start with council comments then. We decided to move that a little earlier into the meeting, hopefully keep more people around. But hopefully you watching are going to listen to these comments because I think they'll probably be good ones tonight. So Tori, would you like to start?
I would say that it goes without saying that these are unprecedented times, and while it has been a very tumultuous week for all of us on so many different levels, I've gotten to a place of real peace and actually silver lining to see just the humanity that everyone has been able to really focus on in the past few days. So from our tireless staff, especially Jackie Phillips, who I thank extensively, Scott, who picked a great week to be the acting city manager, and all throughout the building and across the city. I mean, we've seen businesses work together. I know downtown in particular, we've all really been supporting each other on how we can help, how we can keep people in business and employed, and thinking about our staffs. And I mean, the list goes on. So I know I'm the long-winded one, and I will cut it short to say that I just am very grateful for all the support and the harmony that I'm seeing in the community, and I hope it continues as this continues and probably increases in severity. So I'm hoping we can all stay in this space together. Thank you.
Mr. Mulligan.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll add my thanks to the city staff for their dedicated work when you provide government services that are essential to the operation of our city. There really is no downtime, and there are no non-essential employees, so I appreciate their dedicated work and continued support. Please hang in there as we get through this as a city and as a community and as a country. I'll add one public service announcement. I did receive in the mail my 2020 census form, so I would encourage everyone during this, if they have some downtime, fill it out. I fill it out on my cell phone. It took 2 minutes, but it is critical for the citizens of Middletown and for the state of Ohio for us to get an accurate count, because it's so important to federal funding, to representation in our state house and in Congress, and of course the Electoral College, which will pick the next president after the census is complete. So please take just a couple minutes to complete that census document. Thank you.
Ms. Nenny?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. When Nicole and I received our council orientation just a few months ago, we sat down with Jackie and she talked about our city's disaster response plan and even mentioned that it could be used in a potential outbreak or pandemic situation. I remember at the time thinking that it was something that was great to have in place, but gosh, when would we ever need to use something like that? And it's not hard to say that our level of public response escalated very quickly here in the last week. I know the last council meeting, Jackie was here talking to us about hand washing and hand sanitizer, which is still very important. But we saw what was happening in places like Italy and across the rest of the world and realized that acting fast was our best response to this. And I'm not a scientist or a medical professional, but I do know that social distancing is our best method for slowing the spread of this virus as quickly as possible. I believe that the phrase non-essential is another important aspect of a successful response. I believe that this phrase can, while it's not formal, also apply to travel, entertainment, beauty, elective medical visits, and more. I'm not telling you anything that you haven't seen on the TV, but I think reiterating this is important. If it's non-essential, it can probably wait. You aren't just putting yourself at risk, you're also putting the elderly and most vulnerable in our society at risk. So I just think that it's something that we need to remind people that it is very important. The governor's formal restrictions will have an impact on our daily lives, but we will still be here to live them when the ban's lifted. As a member of the small business community, I can proudly share that we are finding new ways to safely serve Middletown. It's a different process for each person and each business, For some, it means offering carryout and delivery, and for others, it's sharing your craft online. While you spend more time at home, don't stop building or learning or growing. There will be more challenges to face, but we will face them together.
Mr. Moon.
Thank you. Amy, I think you said it well. It is unprecedented times. I want to encourage the public to stay safe, to stay home if possible. On the business front, I know we have had a statewide shutdown of bars and restaurants. I want to encourage folks to check out Downtown Middletown Inc. and the resources they have available to support our downtown businesses. Our city website has pretty much become a one-stop shop for all sorts of information on coronavirus. Shelby, I assume that was your handiwork. Thank you for doing that. For the businesses impacted, and maybe Scott's going to cover this during city manager reports, visit sba.gov/coronavirus. They have all sorts of resources there for impacted small businesses. I also wanted to mention with today's voting being delayed, while we don't have all the details, I would anticipate that you can still request absentee ballots since this has been pushed out. That would be another way to keep yourself safe and stay at home, would be to request those absentee ballots. That way your voice can still be heard, but you can stay home and be safe. And that's all I have.
Well, I'll start with a comment about a consent agenda item. I'm truly honored to have the opportunity to vote tonight on the improvement of Ms. Lyons as our Economic Development Director. I know we had a lot of really great candidates, and everything I hear about her is we are going to be really lucky to have her as part of this team. So hopefully that goes through all right tonight. And, there's no script for what's happening right now. Jackie, you're doing an incredible job. You and your entire department. Scott, amazing. Shelby, really great job. Everyone coming together, coming up with creative solutions to everything. So I just urge Middletown, when you say, I don't know what's going on, it seems like people don't know what's going on. Well, we've never been through it before. So we're really trying. We're coming together as a community, and I'm really proud of everyone. So one thing I'd like to encourage Middletown citizens to do is to sign up for our Code Red emergency notification service. This is something that the Middletown Police Department is spearheading. They just put it out on their Facebook page. We've only got about 20,000 of our citizens signed up for it right now, so please go out. You can find it on, obviously, the Middletown Division of Police Facebook page just posted it, and if you go to our website, the City of Middletown, you can click on How Do I, and then it's sign up for Code Red. Those are how the menus go there for that one. But it's a emergency notification system. It's a ultra high-speed telephone system for emergencies. It allows us to telephone all or targeted areas of the city in case of an emergency situation that requires an immediate action. So this is such as a boil water notice, a missing child, evacuation notices, a pandemic. It's capable of dialing 5,000 phone numbers per hour, 50,000 phone numbers per hour, and it delivers a recorded message that the city has to a live person or to an answering machine, and it makes 3 attempts to call any number. So the number that will appear on your caller ID would be 999-911-9999. The system will only be used for emergency purposes, so we're not going to inundate you with a million different messages. I told you how to sign up. So if you're using any sort of privacy manager on your home telephone line, it will most likely block the calls from Code Red. So we strongly urge you, if you have privacy manager on your home telephone, register with an alternative phone number like a mobile phone number. There's one issue with this system that you as citizens could potentially block the system from being useful. And that's if, when we send a message out, you call the police department. Please do not contact the police department if we send a message out, because then everyone in Middletown is contacting the police department, and they're not able to actually help us out in that emergency situation. So the message will say, please do not contact the police. We really mean that. We will give you all sorts of resources. We'll tell you where else to go to get more information, but please do not do that if we do send a message out. All right, so I've had a lot of communications, obviously, with everyone here in the city and also with our neighboring leaders, specifically Franklin Mayor Centers, Hamlin Mayor Moeller, Springland Mayor Agenbrod, and Germantown Mayor Boder. We've been sharing all sorts of great ideas. I think it's been great across the board in all communities. We've learned a lot from each other already. This situation is bigger than ourselves, and I think council is all made that point. Over a short period of time, like Monica said, our lives have changed very dramatically. school's out, sporting events are canceled, spring break and travel have pretty much been canceled everywhere. Work has been put on hold. People are being laid off from their jobs, and there's no socializing, which also brings another humanity aspect to things that's going to be a little bit longer term effect that we don't really see right away. But really, all these things are overcome with time. Like Monica said, it will come to an end at some point, and we'll get back at it, and we'll be stronger than ever. So this is our opportunity right here in Middletown. It's our opportunity to stand up, work together, slow the spread of this virus. That's what we have to do right now, and I'm sure Jackie's going to tell us that. But we have to define right now who Middletown is to the world by doing this. So your hardships are not to be minimized. I know that it's not an easy time right now, but there are difficult times still yet ahead, and the virus is hitting all communities. So how we choose to come together here in Middletown and react will directly define our future here. Our economy has been quickly spun into turmoil, and this virus does not know wealth or affluence, and the economic or social status is no factor. So this virus is unlike others, the way that it spreads, its lethality, its potential burden on our medical facilities and personnel, but we do have the opportunity to slow it until an immunity to the virus develops or a vaccine is found. Everything we do right now really does matter. Timing is everything. So there's one thing I've definitely learned about Middletown since I've been here. It's that this community is passionate, we're proud, and we're united. So what can you do? You can wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Stay home if you're able to stay home. If you're sick, you absolutely must stay home. Help your neighbors find the city's information resources. Not everybody is as tech savvy as you people who are probably watching on YouTube right now. There's a lot of people who don't even know where to go to watch this. So please help your neighbors find that information. Help them sign up for the emergency code RED. I guarantee you there's a ton of people in this city who will not find that information unless someone helps them find it. Trade toilet paper for hand sanitizer. I'm just saying, if you stocked up on the toilet paper, you might need some hand sanitizer, and your neighbor might have stocked up on that, so let's work together on that one. Offer maybe to help a neighbor with essential shopping, maybe somebody who can't get out and doesn't have those resources. And please don't use the medical system unless you absolutely have to. And Jackie's put out a lot of information, as it shall be, about when it's appropriate to use the medical system. Please support your local businesses. As of right now, order takeout from your local restaurants. Maybe start a neighborhood Facebook group. Maybe you guys can all communicate about who has needs in your specific neighborhood that you might be able to reach out to each other for, and have compassion for each other. Middletown has faced a lot of difficult times in the past. We're a resilient city. This time is ours, and our future belongs to us, and the decisions and actions we make right now will shape the future of our city. We've all been on teams of sorts in our entire life, right? We work together for a common goal to succeed, and if we work as individuals, the team fails, and we don't succeed. So I'm asking each of you to eliminate the word I right now in your vocabulary and replace it with the word community. To conquer this, we must become the greatest team in the history of Middletown, and I believe in us and we can do that. So stay safe, remain informed, make good decisions, trust your neighbor, look out for each other with compassion and love. So blue skies always over Middletown and over the entire United States of America. We will get through this. I'm sorry for all the comments. All right, how about our consent agenda, Ms. Skink?
All right, for your consideration this evening, we have to receive and file the oaths of office for Jason Kirschner, Nathan Morgan, Matthew Queen, Cody Robertson, Zachary Sharp, Kenneth Spears, Lincoln Wiseman, and Brandon Williams, and to confirm the personnel appointment of Chris Zeal Lyons to the position of Economic Development Director in the Department of Economic Development.
I move to approve the issues and actions set forth in the consent agenda.
Second?
Ms. Skink, you please call the roll.
Ms. Nenny?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mayor Condrey?
Yes.
Ms. Vettori?
Yes.
We have one motion item for this evening.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way, sorry. All right. To approve the purchase of the following items totaling $206,000 off of the ODA's contract for new fire medic and associated equipment. Fire medic from Penn Care of Niles, Ohio, in the amount of $146,000, $146,126, sorry. The Power Load Cot and Stair Chair from Stryker of Chicago, Illinois, in the amount of $47,534.24. Graphics package from Danco Lettering of Dayton, Ohio, in the amount of $1,956. A camera recording system from Provision of Byron Center, Michigan, in the amount of $2,400. Thermal image camera from Vogelpool Fire Equipment of Erlanger, Kentucky, in the amount of $6,540. And fire and EMS equipment from various vendors in the amount of $1,443.76.
So move for adoption.
Second?
Do we have any comments? I know I spoke to Scott. Scott, can you confirm where that money is coming out of?
Yes, that is coming from the garage fund,
Okay.
as we spoke about.
Okay, yeah, so there's a lot of discussion going on right now in council about where we can possibly, freeze some of our spending of the general fund money. So I just want to you guys to know that we are looking at potential emergency operations and costs in a lot of our public service. And so where possible, we may be looking at freezing things so that we can really have a stronger future economically here and make sure we're not short-sighted on that. So, but these funds are coming out of a different portion that we would not be able to use for emergency services anyway. So for what that's worth, just so everyone knows. Ms. Skink, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Moon,
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan,
Yes.
Mayor Condrey,
Yes.
Ms. Nenny,
Yes.
Ms. Vettori.
Yes.
Mr. Yoder, would you like to present the legislation for us?
Yes, thank you, Council. You've got 4 items on your agenda tonight, none of which are being proposed for passage tonight, so no need to waive charter provisions relating to that. So with those all just being first readings, I'll go ahead and do those and happy to answer any questions you might have. So first up is ordinance number O-2020-14, an ordinance authorizing a contract with R.A. Miller Construction, Inc. for the 2020 Local Street Improvement Program and declaring an emergency. Again, no actions requested until the April 7th, 2020 meeting. All right, moving on to the second, ordinance number O-2020-15, establishing a procedure for and authorizing a contract with Southeastern Equipment Company for the purchase of a BOMAG tandem vibratory roller and declaring an emergency. Again, no actions requested until the April 7th, 2020 meeting. Third is ordinance number O-2020-16, an ordinance to levy special assessments for the repair of sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and driveway aprons in the city of Middletown during the year 2019 against the lots and lands benefited by said improvements.
Can I make a comment on that one?
Sure, of course.
So Scott and I talked about this again. The national emergency that's going on right now, with that going on, if we were to go ahead and move forward with this, we would make sure that the 30 days that the bills were, so I guess once it gets approved, citizens have 30 days to pay that. We would most likely wait until the national emergency is over to start the 30 days from the point in which people would owe. I'm not guaranteeing that, but that's the initial plan, I believe. Scott, is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously council's prerogative. They want to do that. We will need to take a look. I know there are some deadlines as far as on when we approve that and then when we actually can get it on the taxes for next year. There is a deadline, I want to say, by like September. So just keep that in mind, but we can certainly consider that and give us a little more time to check into it, and we'll confirm that and get back with you before the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. We'll think about that as council and how that would play out. Thanks.
Fourth and finally, you've got resolution number R-2020-06, a resolution to make adjustments to appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Middletown, counties of Butler and Warren, state of Ohio, for the period ending December 31st, 2020.
Do we have anything else on the agenda this evening? This could be the shortest meeting. Jackie, did you want to make any comments? Is it in the plans to? You don't have to.
Don't give her a mic.
No. Good evening, everybody, and your comments brought me to tears because it is so nice to know that we are a community here in Middletown, right? And we are like a family, and we have our little disagreements, but at times like this, we do come together. And I wanted to say, if all possible, to mention my staff, because I've been not so nice lately, because I'm really tired. And I always tell them, I love you, but if you can't handle this, go home. And then I'm like, okay, let's all get pizza. So right now, you guys, the only reason why we see all of this, I think from our leaders, from our president, all the way down, this sense of urgency and concern is because we are trying to protect everyone. And when you have that burden on your shoulders that you're responsible for your citizens, it becomes overwhelming. Our director of health on the phone the other night, she broke down in tears when we were on the call. Because, everything, we are at this, we are now 7 weeks out, only 7 weeks. And it sounds like a lot. And we don't want anybody to die. We are hearing news that some people are very sick, and they may. So we're prepared for that. But you all being supportive and understanding is amazing. And our communities, I wanted to say on TV real quick, please, 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 thank you. I am forwarding messages from people to other staff members because I can't answer them all, but they're saying, we're gonna feed the kids. We're doing blogs to help take care of kids. The churches, should we cancel? Should we get other ways to communicate? Everybody is praying for each other. Everybody's calling on each other. So it's just overwhelming because it's really good. And can you listen to what we have planned? And I'm like, no, I don't have time, but I'm giving it to someone. So thank you to the community of Middletown. Thank you, Mayor, that's been available 24/7, as you know. All you city council people, it just matters so much that you guys are here for us. And my staff, Carla Ely, Nancy McKillop, Janae Maurer, we have been in meetings and on conference calls 24/7 while Amanda McDonald and Laura Brown are just supporting us, trying to keep business going. And that's what I wanted to say. As we start scaling down, and my department heads are just, they're just nice too. But I mean, they're supportive too. As we scale down, often public citizens, public workers, public people are protecting those most vulnerable populations, right? And so often we pretty much can go home and hole up until everything's over. Often they don't have the resources, they may not have the money, they may not have the support that we have to do so. So health departments are saying we're scaling down, but some kids still need their immunizations because there are still diseases out there and there are things that are harmful to kids. And WIC, women, infant, and children, they need some of those supplies, they need some of the food, they need some of the formulas. And so public health has to keep working, so we're trying to schedule by appointment. So be careful and be mindful of that. As you all mentioned, please, please, please stay away from our health staff. I just heard a report this morning that Atlanta Hospital has doctors that are sick. If doctors become sick or quarantine, nurses, assistants, people that work in the hospitals, again, that's our staff. And we want to be able to make sure everyone's safe. So when we take that deep breath and blow out that deep breath, realize that the only reason why you hear some of this hype is because we really want everybody to be as safe as possible. And the only way you can do that is just keeping that social distancing. And we say it's not as much as social distancing, but physical distance. So you can still FaceTime, you can still call, you can still, do different things. And like you said, start blogs to say, what are you doing most creative? Take time to reconnect with your friends and families. Write letters. Hello, does anybody know how to do that? Write letters, notes, send cards, do things that could be really helpful. And I am confident when we get on the other side of this, we are going to be stronger and we're going to be better. So thank you for all that you have done and all that you're doing. I think we're in this for a little while, but it'll just keep ebbing and flowing and we'll all get comfortable and something else will happen. And we're sure to kind of start ramping up for the next phase of this, right? And it's when we get vaccine or when we get medication to then start helping people too. So this is just part of our phases and it's what public health do. We are trained for it, but it usually is over in 24, 48 hours. It's not this long because it's tabletop training. So thank you, and thank everybody in Middletown. I can just keep get messages from everybody, from old friends and new friends saying, hang in there, I know you're right in the middle of it, and it's true. I fussed at them too. Stop texting me, I'm fine. But anyway, love you all, appreciate you all. We're here for everyone, so just call us if you need us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Scott, I realize we don't have city manager comments. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just briefly, so just so everyone knows, all city services are still active and working. From police, fire, public works on down the list. We are certainly taking protective measures as recommended by the state and the CDC and the federal government. And we do strongly recommend the public to use remote city services to every extent possible. We will be limiting face-to-face interaction with the public at some point. And to that end, obviously Shelby continuously updates the website. We'll have the information there on how you can reach individual city departments. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? All right, great. Well, barring any emergency meetings we would have in the meantime, our next regularly scheduled council meeting is April 7th at 17:30 or 5:30 p.m. here in council chambers. So until then, blue skies over Middletown.